Hello YouTube, look who's back. This guy. But who knows for how long. So before we start the show, I definitely wanted to take a minute and tell you guys to join me over on Rockfin. Rockfin is going to be my new home. I'm going to live stream from there. I'm going to post all of my footage there. Yes, I'm going to do a little bit here on YouTube, but I'm going to keep it very, very, very PG until at least all of my strikes are gone and I can be a little bit more, I don't know, courageous. The fact that they were able to delete me in a matter of 30 days is a problem. And I mean, I'll tell you, when I got the email saying that my Google account entirely was deleted, including my YouTube channel, well, I mean, it really was kind of devastating because I really enjoyed developing a relationship with a lot of you guys. Unfortunately, well, I got to be a little bit more careful. So I'm still going to go ahead and live stream some of the more low-key events and so on, but I'm going to do everything I possibly can to keep my nose clean and really not get on their radar. Now, the only real viable option I have, because I'm still demonetized on YouTube, I'm still, well, actually, I just got a banned on Facebook, so I have an alternate account that I can post on Facebook still, but my pages are all restricted. I can't really post videos, so Facebook is really worthless, and there's not really much I can do about that. So Rockfin is where I'm going to go. I really want and hope and pray that every single one of you guys who watch this video join me over on Rockfin, because that's where it's going to be happening. It's ads free. If you want to pay for the premium content, it's $9 a month, and there's going to be some really good premium content coming out that makes it worth it. But the majority of the stuff that I'm going to be uploading is going to be free, and I, at this moment anyway, am sure that they are going to be the only real viable option that I currently have to keep doing this as my job. They have a very functional app. There's a lot of other creators on there that do mostly talk shows. So if you're into that kind of stuff, I mean, this is definitely the place for you. And it's not just political stuff. There's wrestling, there's some sports, there's some football. There's a bunch of other different channels. So, I mean, at the very least, go check that out. And again, creating an account is free. You get all the free content that you can stomach. And no matter what, don't forget to join me on Telegram. That way you don't miss any of the content. Memes, videos, shows, all of the above. And even if you don't use your phone, you can use it on your computer as well. All the links for Rockfin, Telegram, and if you want to donate so I can eat while I'm trying to rebuild my audience over on Rockfin, those links are in the description as well. I hope you guys follow me over there. And now on with the show. What's up, everybody? All right, am I centered? Because some stuff moved. I'm pretty centered. Good enough. All right, so hey, nice and bright, right? Isn't that nice, like just brighter? People said it was too busy, but I like it. So I'm just going to go ahead and go right into this. Now, I know that a lot of people might not like hip-hop. I know a lot of people might not like rap. However, Tom MacDonald put out probably one of the greatest songs I've ever heard, ever in my life. And it's really because of this little part here that I'm going to play for you. And it's funny because this really kind of sets the tone for the stuff that's been going on for the last couple weeks. Without further ado, here's one of the greatest. Like, even if you don't like it, just listen to the words. Just listen to the words.
We won't let freedom die. The whole world's brainwashed. Everybody pick a team, start a riot in the streets. The whole world's brainwashed. It's us against them, and then you against me. Step 1, train the people only to consume. Step 2, infiltrate adults with the news. Step 3, indoctrinate the children through the schools and the music and the apps on the phones that they use. Step 4, separate the right from the left. Step 5, separate the white from the black. Step 6, separate the rich from the poor. Use religion and equality to separate them more. Step 7, fabricate a problem, made a lie. Step 8, put it on the news every night. Step 9, when people start to fight and divide, take control. This is called situational design. They can't stop us, 'cause we're ready to fight.
Like I said, even if you don't like rap, even if you don't like hip-hop, even if you don't like that style of music, if you have any common sense whatsoever, if you are a rational human being by any stretch of the imagination who is aware of current events and things that are going on, it's what's happening, right? That is what we are dealing with. That is what we are seeing. That is what has been happening. And it's all written down. I tell people all the time that 1984 was not supposed to be a how-to book. It just wasn't supposed to be like that. But that appears to be what's happening. And it is The guy, if you haven't followed him before, if you haven't seen his stuff, go check it out. Like, the guy is excellent when it comes to messaging. He does not care about offending people. And as you can see, in 2 days, how many millions of views has he already gotten? It's just, the guy is very talented. The guy is very good. I definitely recommend him to everybody. So the first thing we're going to talk about here is how you're all threats to America. Yep. That's what it is. Welcome to the new woke America, everybody. Unfortunately, as we're going to talk about here in a little bit, it's not so new. This whole idea that you, just because you believe in freedom, you just because you don't like government overreach, you just because you think that your founding fathers had some smart ideas, and you believe that the Constitution is not a piece of toilet paper, as somebody who is now banned from my channel once said. Just because you believe that you have some freedom and liberties, you are now a potential domestic terrorist, and they will be watching you. So we'll just jump right into that. So here is the main points of this stuff. So look at number 1 there. Through the remainder of 2021, racially or ethnically motivated violent extremists, oh my goodness, they haven't, like, RMVE. Wow. And anti-government, anti-authority, violent extremists. Would that be Antifa, you think? So we got, like, Trump supporters and then Antifa, like, just to keep it in 2 camps, right? Will remain a national threat priority for the United States. These extremists may seek to exploit the emergence of COVID-19 variants by viewing the potential reestablishment of public health restrictions across the United States as a rationale to conduct attacks. Because that's happened, right? Like, there's been attacks because of the, stuff that's going on. Oh, Michigan. You're right, Michigan. But that was orchestrated by the FBI, wasn't it? Anyway, moving on. Sorry. Go back. Let's see here. Pandemic-related stressors have contributed to an increased societal strains and tensions, driving several plots by domestic violent extremists, and they may contribute to more violence this year. Wait a second. It's not really Antifa that's going around complaining about the masks and COVID and so on, right? Like, Antifa, everybody knows they're not anti-fascist. They're fascists and they're communists, and they love that whole authoritarian, deal, right? They love that whole authoritarian government. They love that government is controlling them in every aspect. They want that. They want that nanny state. So even though they mentioned the violent anarchists for, 4 words or 6 words, right? But the rest of that had nothing to do with them. Weird, even though we had a whole year last year of them doing things and really nothing from the right whatsoever. And as a matter of fact, like, I have yet to see in the last year a racially motivated attack. There was, I guess, all those attacks against Asians, but maybe that's what they're talking about. I don't know. But we all know what the meaning is, who they're talking about, because for some reason they can't get over Charlottesville. But those guys weren't the ones attacking Asians, though, were they? No. And then we go on here to the second, where we go, hey, additionally, just as a side point, anniversary of 9/11, 20 years, guys. Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula recently released its first English language copy of Inspire magazine in over 4 years, which demonstrates that foreign terrorist organizations continue efforts to inspire U.S.-based individuals susceptible to violent extremist influences. But hey, what? How great is it that the Taliban gets Afghanistan back, right? Did you guys see that latest news bulletin there saying that Biden has an auto-reply message for his email saying he's on vacation? Don't bother him. He's on vacation. It's Saigon, 1975, all over again. We literally have Chinook helicopters leaving the embassy in Afghanistan, but no, it's cool. It's fine. Taliban's going to come back in. They're going to take over everything. Don't worry about all the people they've already killed. Don't worry about all the women that they're already forcing into marriages. Don't worry about women walking down the street and dudes sitting on the sidewalk going, hey, I'm going to make you my 4th wife. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about all the kids that have gotten killed. And don't worry about it. And whatever you do, don't worry about any, retaliation. Like, it's not like they're going to be mad that for the last 20 years Americans have been there and been fighting them and stuff. Like, they're going to be fine. They're going to let bygones be bygones. Biden said, hey, if you don't attack the embassy, we might give you aid. It's no big deal. It's no big deal. They'll be fine, right? The Taliban they're good guys, right? So anyway, moving on. Historically, mass casualty domestic violent extremist attacks linked to RMVEs have targeted houses of worship. One, right? It was one house of worship. Other than that, it was Antifa burning churches and attacking Christian events, right? Like, I'm trying to rack my brain. I can't see you guys' comments right now, so maybe somebody might, remind me later on about all of the other attacks on houses of worship. But I think it was one attack on a church by a racist, Dylan Roof, I think, right? So I don't know what they meant by the plural there. I could be wrong. Again, I could be wrong. Unless Antifa, again, setting churches on fire. I could be wrong. So, again, let's see here. In commercial facilities or gatherings. Now, honestly, for the life of me, I cannot remember a commercial facility or gathering that was attacked by a racist. I do not. Even like the whole thing that started the Stop Asian Hate thing, that wasn't even a racist thing at all. It was a hooker thing. So it wasn't just Asians that the dude went after. So again, I don't know what they're talking about. I pride myself on being in the know. I know that I'm pretty busy, so I miss a lot of things. So I don't know if I've missed a whole bunch, but maybe later you guys can refresh my memory. I don't know. Let's see. Some RMVEs associate via online platforms for a race war and have stated that civil disorder provides opportunities to engage in violence in furtherance of ideological objectives. The reopening of institutions, including schools, as well as several dates of religious significance over the next few months, could also provide increased targets of opportunity for violence, though there are currently no credible or imminent threats identified to these locations. Again, what is the basis for this idea? Where are they seeing this? That's my question. Where are they seeing this stuff? I mean, it's a pretty vague, open thing that doesn't have anything to really back it up. No current events or history of events that would back that up. So I'm genuinely curious where they get it. It'd be really cool if they could, let us know. Foreign and domestic threat actors, to include foreign intelligence services. I wonder if they mean from China. International terrorist groups and domestic violent extremists. Oh, there they are again. Continue to introduce, amplify, disseminate narratives online that promote violence and have called for violence against elected officials, political representatives, government facilities, law enforcement, religious communities, and commercial facilities, and perceive ideologically opposed individuals. There are also continued on specific calls for violence on multiple platforms associated with DVE ideologies or conspiracy theories on perceived election fraud and alleged reinstatement. Wow. Really? Alleged reinstatement. In other words, the people who actually think that Trump's going to be reinstated due to the election fraud, like, they're taking them seriously, like, as a threat. I don't really know what to say about that. That's just amazing. And responses to anticipated restrictions relating to the increasing COVID cases, ideologically motivated violent extremists fueled by personal grievances and extremist ideological beliefs continue to derive inspiration and obtain operational guidance through the consumption of information shared on certain online communities. This includes information regarding the use of improvised explosives and small arms. Violent extremists may use particular messaging platforms or techniques to obscure operational indicators that provide specific warning of a pending act of violence. So make sure you guys join me on Telegram. It's in the link here at the description. Join me on there. We'll see how long it takes Apple and Google to all, just try to destroy it, but we still got it on our computers. Windows 10 is great. It works great on Windows 10. You get notifications, all that fun stuff. So make sure you join me on Twitter, or I'm sorry, nope, not Twitter, Telegram. And that way you guys get all the content. You get links to everything that I post on all of the other platforms that still believe in a little bit of freedom and privacy. Yes. So good times there, right? But don't worry, because a lot of people who haven't been paying attention think that this is new. It's not new. This is not a new release. This is kind of regurgitated a little bit. As a matter of fact, back in 2009, I used to contract with the sheriff's department, and I did security, and I contracted with them, and we would take over patrols and so on anyway. And we got a Homeland Security press briefing. Or not press briefing. It was like a manual. Like, you guys need to watch out for this stuff. And its key findings, way back in 2009 with our wonderful President Obama, it talks about threats from white supremacist and violent anti-government groups. Hello, Tea Party. During 2009 have been largely rhetorical, wow, and have not indicated plans to carry out violent acts. So why are we talking about this? That sounds familiar, doesn't it? Anyway, nevertheless, the consequences of a prolonged economic downturn, including real estate foreclosures, unemployment, and an inability to obtain credit, could create a fertile recruiting environment for right-wing extremists and even result in confrontations between such groups and government authorities similar to those in the past, which didn't really exist either. Right-wing extremists have capitalized on the election of the first African-American president and are focusing their efforts to recruit new members, mobilize existing supporters, and broaden the scope and appeal through propaganda, but they have not yet turned to attack planning. During the 1990s, these issues contributed to the growth in the number of domestic right-wing terrorist and extremist groups and an increase in violent acts of targeting government facilities, law enforcement officers, banks, and infrastructure sectors. Growth of these groups subsided in reaction to increased government scrutiny as a result of the 1995 Oklahoma City bombing and disrupted plots, improvements in the economy, and continued U.S. standing as the preeminent world power. Oops, there we go. And there we are. So that was back in 2009. I mean, in 2009, we read that thing and we're going, whoa, wait a second. Like, you're really going to town on right-wingers because you're calling us racist? Like, it's kind of when it started. And the worst thing about that one is it went into veterans. Like, it just totally went off and attacked veterans. They singled them out as a group. Essentially, any veteran that came back from Iraq or Afghanistan should be considered a potential domestic terrorist. Weird how all of a sudden we're purging the ranks right now, right? Like, get the jab or, get a less than honorable discharge. Wow, it's almost like Obama era is coming back. It's like Joe learned from Obama. Maybe Joe advised Obama and now he's like doing it. I don't know. It's weird, right? Isn't it weird? I think it's not weird, but the parallels are amazing. Absolutely amazing. How in 2009 we get the first ever right-wing extremists or the crazy crackpot racists, and we got to watch out for them. We got to start monitoring them. And then Biden comes into office and Homeland Security puts out another memorandum going, all you people who don't want to get it, who don't want to get the medicine, they're going to be potential terrorists. Yeah, and those guys that think that the election was stolen, potential terrorists. And don't forget, they're all racist. Even the people of color. Like all the Cubans that can't come here anymore. But everybody from South America can. I don't know what. I just welcome to America, guys. Welcome to America. Now, speaking of leftist racism, I want to talk a little bit about the most racist law that has been passed in a very long time. I think anywhere, to be honest. Ever since Jim Crow, maybe segregation. Like there's been a few that the Democrats have done, but this one here, pretty crazy for the 21st century, I think. Let's just dive on in here. So I'll come back to me. So Oregon State decided that people of color, not joking, shouldn't have to learn how to read, write, or do math. You shouldn't. They actually list it out. And it's amazing to me. And unfortunately, I forgot to get that part. But I mean, the law itself, the actual text of the law, does enough. And it's amazing. So what this law is it directs the Department of Education to do some studies, and to like B right there is on top. It says review state requirements related to demonstrations of proficiency in skills or academic content areas that are not related to career and technical education, with an emphasis on demonstrations of proficiency in essential learning skills. So for those of you who don't know what essential learning skills is, that is reading, writing, and arithmetic. That is essential learning skills. Okay, so just catch that away really quick. So it goes through here. They want the Board of Education to make recommendations for state requirements for high school diplomas in the state to reduce disparities and to ensure that every student will be on track to earn one of the high school diplomas. Keyword there, every student needs to get a diploma, kind of like a participation trophy. An evaluation of the role of the school district or a public charter school when a student who has the documented history described in blah, blah, blah seeks to pursue a high school diploma with more stringent requirements than a modified diploma or an extended diploma as provided by blah, blah, blah. They want a comparison of high school diploma requirements in this state with high school diploma requirements of other states. I don't know why, because most other states make people know how to read, write, and do math. The identification of expectations of employers and post-secondary institutions of education related to the skills and knowledge of persons who earn high school diplomas in the state. Again, in order to go to college, you have an entrance exam. And part of that entrance exam is you have to know how to read, write, and do math. That's how they place you. They place you in the classes. So now, guess what all these wonderful colleges get to do? If any kid goes from Oregon to college, you're going to be going to high school equivalent math, high school equivalent reading and writing. Yay! And determine of whether the skills and knowledge expected to be attained by persons who earned high school diplomas in the state or identified in paragraph D of the subsection align with the requirements for high school diplomas in this state. Let's see. The determination of whether the requirements for high school diplomas in this state have applied inequitably to different student populations. Now I'm going to read that one more time. The determination of whether the requirements for high school diplomas in the state have been applied inequitably to different student populations. In other words, we got to make sure that everybody is getting their diploma. And we need to find out, why. Is it because of reading, math, and arithmetic? Like, is that what's holding everybody back? Like, what's going on here? It continues with, when conducting the review and developing recommendations under the section, the department shall, now I'm going to skip through a couple of them here. We'll start with the first one, of course. Use a transparent process that is equitable, accessible, and inclusive. Yes. Equitable and inclusive. And then it just gets bad. Representatives from historically undeserved students, including students who have a disability, are from an immigrant or refugee population, are from a racial or ethnic group that have historically experienced academic disparities. Hold on one second here. That way I can transition a little better. Okay. Disparities. are English language learners or are from a federally recognized Indian tribe of the states, youth-led organizations that engage or empower youth and communities from across the state. They want them to develop recommendations for changes. They want, with the goal of ensuring that the processes and outcomes related to the requirements for high school and diploma are equitable, accessible, and inclusive. And then we'll go down to this last guy here, and it will say, almost pushed the wrong button. The interim committee of the Legislative Assembly related to education, and they're going to report it to all these people, right? And then, let's see, recommended changes in legislative administrative rules that will reduce disparities and ensure that every student will be on track to earn one of the high school diplomas offered by the state. They want to ensure that every student either gets a high school diploma or a GED or one of the other weird things that they mentioned over there. So the whole point of this study for the Department of Education is to make sure that everybody gets a participation diploma no matter what. That's their end goal. That's what they want. And they need to include an analysis of the effectiveness of requiring students to demonstrate proficiency in essential learning skills, again, reading, writing, and mathematics, and an explanation of the reasons the department concludes that requirements related to demonstrations of proficiency in reading, writing, and arithmetic should be retained, modified, or eliminated. If reading, writing, and math should be retained, modified, or eliminated. If the department concludes that demonstrations of proficiency of essential learning skills should be retained, the department shall provide recommendations for alternative methods for students to demonstrate proficiency in skills or academic content areas that are not related to career or technical education. And then we jump down to Section 3. Notwithstanding any rules adopted by the State Board of Education, a student may not be required to show proficiency in essential learning skills as a condition of receiving a high school diploma for the school year of 2021, 2022, and 2023. For the next 3 years, you don't have to learn how to read, write, or do math in order to graduate high school. You just don't. You get a attended class for the next 3 years. In the two definitely most important things that you need to know how to do to survive, to be a human being who's not homeless on the streets because you can't get a job because you can't read or write, which, I mean, unfortunately, that is kind of the state of this country anyway, right? Like finding a Gen Z person that can read and write and you just want to give them a hug and say thank you for actually trying. But it's incredible to me. This act being necessary for the immediate preservation of the public peace, health, and safety, an emergency is declared to exist, and this 2021 act takes effect on its passage. How racist is this? Like, seriously, in the press release or whatever about it, they actually go down and they list all of the people that this applies to: the Black, Hispanic, Pacific Islander, Native American. I mean, it said it right there in the law. They're literally saying that because you are a person of color, you aren't smart enough to graduate high school with the basic stuff. That's what they're saying. And I've talked about this so many times about how I wrote a book on it, about how the racist Democrats have been the racist Democrats since before they were Democrats. I literally wrote a book on this subject, and I wish I would have waited to publish it until today, because this would have been a great ender. Just going, look at this. Look at the racist Democrats that are sitting there saying we need to lower the standards because you just can't do it. That is racist. That's really, really racist. It's not like, oh, you voted for Trump, you're a racist. No, it's you're racist because you literally voted for a law that said, yeah, you know what, just because you're a person of color, you don't got to know how to do anything. I have family who are Democrats. And they're just as conservative as I am, but they are lifelong Democrats. They will be Democrats until the day they die. They've worked for the Fed for most of their life, all of their life, really, and no matter, and they're very pro-union and they're very pro, that. So that's what makes them a Democrat. But I don't get it. I don't understand how even some of these people in my family who are super conservative people can actually still sit there. They live in Oregon. They voted for these people. And how they can still sit there and go, oh, yeah, I'm a proud Democrat. Yeah, you bet. No, that's racist, bro. I'm sorry. You voted for outright racists. 100%. The whole idea of a Democrat from its whole birth, and I've done a couple videos on this, I've done a couple rants that I've posted, but I'm just going to say it one more time. The whole premise of the left and the Democrats is racist. The first thing they did was the Indian Removal Act, and then it was slavery, and then it was segregation, and then it was the Great Society, the Great New Deal, and then it was the Great Society. And then it was, race war Obama, and then it's this. Like, it hasn't stopped. And how any Democrat can sit there and go, no, you're a racist, you voted for Trump. No, you can't say that. You can't say it. You keep proving over and over again your racism. Talk about welfare for a minute. Just talk about welfare for a minute. Talk about equality or equity. Talk about any of that stuff. And they'll be like, well, first of all, we need the Mexicans to come on over here to do all the stuff the white people won't do. We need them to be out here, you ain't going to do it. You're not going to go out here and clean this hotel room. They'll say that to you. They'll straight up tell you that. Our politicians, our Democrat politicians will say that while they're running. We need to let them in. We got to let them in because they're going to do jobs that other people won't do. That's racist. That is so incredibly racist. It is unbelievable how racist that is. How any minority, person of color, how anybody can vote for Democrats is beyond me. I don't get it because their whole belief system, their whole ideology is you can't do it on your own. You need us to pay your way. You need us to provide you with everything. You need us to make it so you can succeed in life. Whereas the right, the Republicans, for the most part, conservatives. I'll say with conservatives because I'm not, whatever. Republicans, they suck nowadays. We go, no, you're born equal opportunity. It's up to you to work hard and succeed in life. That's the opposite of racist. That is, you're a human being. Welcome to America. You're a human being. Have fun with your life. You can do whatever you want. You can be whoever and whatever you want. Welcome to America. You're a human. Democrats go, welcome to America. You can go here and mow the lawn. You can go here and collect food stamps because obviously you're going to have a hard time just because of the color of your skin. That's racist. And now they made a law. They made another law. Like, we're already having segregation with the whole, thing, right? That thing. We already have like segregation coming back hard in this country. And during Obama years, we were having segregation come back hard then too, right? With the segregated college dorms and the attempt to lower the standards for people of color, the firefighters, right? We have a Supreme Court justice that said that we need to lower standards for people of color. And yet they're like, no, we're not racist. No, conservatives go, you're human. You have just the same ability as anybody else to succeed. And oh yeah, well, this person lives in a bad neighborhood. So did Ben Carson, Oprah, Clarence Thomas. Who else? I mean, how many more people do you need to name to sit there and go, look at these extremely successful people of color and look what they have done and look where they started and come at me, bro. Right? You know what I mean? It is baffling to me how this stuff goes unchecked, how this stuff it goes unnoticed. Like how they can sit there and go, you conservatives are racist, and we go, no, we don't really hate anybody. We just think everybody should live and let live and do your thing, and the government shouldn't tell us what to do. Like, that's really our whole stance on everything. As a matter of fact, if there's any liberals or anarchists or anybody else on the left who is, watching right now, I'm just going to go ahead and show you exactly what conservatives stand for. I mean, it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple stuff. Like, that's the back of this shirt. So wherever I go, it's amazing. I walk around and I'll even get like hate from it. And I'm like, how can you hate that? It literally, like, it starts off by saying, I don't care what color you are or anything. Like, I don't care about what your life is. Like, live and let live. That's how it begins. And yet liberals will still sit there and go, oh, you're a racist. It's written in, oh, you must have graduated from an Oregon high school. That makes sense. All right. So, I mean, those were really the two issues that I want to talk about. Ooh, there's one more thing. So I did a video. My wife wanted me to add this in here because it happened to her today. So I did a video called Antifa Explained. There's two parts to it. One part is really what happened to me. The first part is about like my personal life, my personal experience dealing with Antifa and what they have done and what they've done to me and other people that I know and have relationships with. And the second one is like their tactics and things that they use and do, when they go out and do their fascist activities. And so my wife went shopping today with a family member of hers, and she was wearing, for those of you who saw the flag wave earlier today in Richfield, she was wearing a real sparkly silver, and then it said USA across top of it. Very like, loud and in your face, America kind of a thing. But I mean, it was just shiny silver and then USA. So, I mean, it wasn't even like provocative. It didn't say Trump or anything on it. It was just USA. Something you could probably, find at Walmart, right? And her family member that she went shopping with today literally asked her to take it off. And her family member's one of us. Okay, she's one of us. She's one of the good guys. She's not like, oh God, America sucks. She's one of us. But so Tia goes, well, why? Why do you want me to take it off? And she's like, because I'm afraid. She said she was afraid. She was afraid of people's reaction because that is the country we live in now. We live in a country where people are actually afraid to go out and wear America. There were people worried about that. People would be worried about wearing this. I'm a common sense. There's that word right there. Conservative. Oh boy. I get a lot of looks. I get a lot of reactions. But I turn around. I'm like, read that. You don't like it? What's up? And then I call them out. And then usually they go, oh, okay. No, it's not bad. It's not bad. Nazi. But this, I mean, this is the state of our nation right now. And it is that we have legitimate fears to go out in public and show our patriotism, our love of country. You know, people don't show up to these flag waves. Like this flag wave that I went to today, 48 straight weeks, right now, today, was 48 straight weeks, and we only had 6 people there. And people know they're there. People know they're going. They know that they're going to be there next week. We were out there when it was snowing. We were out there when it was raining, when it was hailing on us, when it was frozen. We were out there when it was 115 degrees. People know we're there. And yet, for some reason, people don't come out. And to pretend like we don't know the reason, like, there's 2 reasons. One, you know what? They might not care enough, right? There's a lot of people out there that are like, well, it doesn't affect me yet. It's okay. You know, like that saying, right? First they came for the socialists, but I wasn't a socialist. I had nothing to worry about. Then they came for the Jews, and I wasn't a Jew, so there was nothing for me to worry about. And then they came for the bankers or whatever, and I wasn't a banker, so they didn't have, I didn't have anything to worry about. And then they came for me, and there was nobody left to worry about me, right? I know I totally messed up the quote, but that's the gist of it. I actually had a guy tell it to me the other day in his own way, and he just listed it down. He's like, then they came for the unvaccinated, and then, there was nobody left to take care of me. And so, it's just, and the other reason is the actual fear, because some of these people out here, they've been around enough and they've seen what they've done to people. Like, I have seen people forced to pick up and move out of state. Not because they're trying to get out of blue state Washington or blue state Oregon or blue state California. It was because Antifa destroyed their lives. They destroyed their careers. They made them unhireable. I am pretty sure I am unhireable. During my wonderful time here of demonetization, I have put in a few applications, and I have a pretty impressive resume, if I do say so myself, and not one single response. Not one. And I think it's probably because they Googled me. And if you Google me, you find some pretty insane garbage out there about me. And, most people will believe it. And that's welcome to America, because you will believe anything that gets clicked. I mean, look at, I don't even want to get into that. Don't even want to get into that right now. But I do want to get in with you guys and see if there are some comments here or questions I can answer. What Oregon law are we talking about? You can rewind it, or when I end this thing, you can check it out again. But the Oregon law that I'm talking about is the one that they made it so nobody has to know how to read, write, or do math to graduate high school. And they legitimately, specifically said that it was geared for people of color. That is the Oregon law that we were talking about. Thank you for saying that you would hire me. I appreciate that. Hopefully I can get this thing going. I don't have my wonderful sample stuff yet, so I don't have a commercial ready to go or anything for it. But if you guys do if you guys do any prepping of any kind, food prep or disaster prep or anything like that, I have a affiliation going on with My Patriot Supply. If you go to preparewithcommonsense.com, you can actually see it. I think it's over there. You can, the website's right there, and you can go there and you get a 25% discount. That is my new, hopefully, way that I'll be able to continue doing this and make a living doing this as well. I do live in Washington. Yes, I do. I live in Washington, but the thing about living in Washington, for those of you who don't live on the West Coast, if Washington does something stupid, Oregon does it next, and then California will do it. It's kind of a race, really, between Oregon and California on who's going to do it, the next stupid thing, or try to, and it's always a competition. Like, Washington will do something, and then Oregon will go, let's see, is anybody making a fuss? No, of course not, because, well, nobody cares. So then they're going to do it, and they try to just kind of one-up them a little bit. And same thing goes if California does something stupid, or if Oregon does something stupid. Washington, it's between the three states. It's like they're in constant communication, going, "Yo, I got this really cool idea. Let's do something really bad, and let's see if we can get away with it." Oh my God, we got away with it. Okay, you do it. That is how it is here on the West Coast. It's horrible. So I do a lot of coverage. Like I live right next to the Oregon border, pretty close to the Oregon border anyway. So I do a lot of coverage in Oregon and Washington. And Oregon policy really does affect me because Oregon passed the gun measure first that Washington amped up a lot and made it a felony if I were to loan you a rifle to go hunting with. You bet. So yeah, that is it. Murphy's Law, no joke. Slaves were not allowed to learn. Yep. Funny thing that you bring up BLM, though, because BLM actually put out a statement about the medication that is being mandated, and they are actually trying to make it so the African-American population doesn't get it. They actually put out a statement saying the white man is trying to get you. Only 25% of the black population has gotten it, and BLM actually is going, the white man's trying to get you. I'm like, wow, that is unbelievable. What else is being said? I gotta get one of those lights that go like recording, little blinking lights out there, because it's pretty soundproof in here, so nobody can actually hear if I'm talking. So I get people walking in sometimes. Let's see, any other questions? My water got shut off last week and the city is suing me for unpaid property taxes. That is sucky. That is very, very sucky. But hey, at least you can't get evicted, right? CDC making laws now. Oh, it is. It's a crazy world we live in right now, guys. It really is. And I have so much stuff going on. There's so many things that I can't talk about on here, but join me on Rockfin though. Go over there, hit that link probably once the stream is over, because usually it doesn't work while I'm streaming. But hit that link going over to Rockfin, get the app. If you're on an iPhone, it's the greatest app ever. I like it better than YouTube, to be honest. If you're on a Droid, I'm sorry, Droid sucks. Get an iPhone. Life is much better on this side of the fence. And the FBI can't hack my phone. So hey, there's that, right? So that's very cool. But I can't get any job because I don't speak Spanish. I was actually passed up on a job, and I can speak Spanish, but they said I was not dark enough to get it. They actually told me that. They told me that I couldn't get this promotion because I wasn't dark enough. It was horrible. I'm like, I'm native. I got native. I'm mostly native. I'm native Irish and German, here's the Irish, here's the German, and here's the native. They were like, no, sorry. You don't speak enough Spanish. And I'm like, sí, hablo español muy bueno. Todo está bien. They're like, nah, come on, man. So yeah, no, I've been affirmative actioned. It's I know how that goes. I definitely know how that goes. I would like to donate. Yeah, I can't read all of that because you're a good Christian. Good job. Good on you. Good on you. The link for Rockfin showed up for you. Excellent. What are my thoughts on August 22nd? I think I'm going to do a show, or at least a chat dedicated specifically to that. But I will give you some thoughts now. I am on record. I am on record as being adamantly opposed to going into Portland for any reason. I do not support it. I do not condone any action in Portland. Just because, if you're going to Portland, you're picking a fight. The Christian service that was going on last Saturday, that was an annual thing. They were there last year. They came back. Antifa attacked them as they were trying to leave. I went down to that, right? Because that was a different kind of thing. They weren't there to pick a fight. The one that happened on Friday was not there to pick a fight. They just wanted to go down and worship at the waterfront, and they got attacked by Antifa, had all their sound equipment thrown into the Willamette River, and nobody did anything. They were just there. So the rock concert came down, and Antifa kind of stayed. They were way outnumbered. Pay attention to that. Antifa was way outnumbered, and they waited until everybody was getting into their cars before they attacked. Fortunately, there was enough people there doing security that pushed them away. Now, if you're going to Portland, you have to have numbers in order for there to be anything besides a big brawl, because it's all it really ends up being, right? It's just a big brawl. And so that's why I don't condone it, because I can't get behind the idea of going down and we're just going for the sole reason to fight. Antifa is flying people in. People on the right are flying people in, and it's going to be. It has potential to be a very bad day for both sides. It's going to be a dangerous situation, and my wife. I wasn't planning on going. I wasn't planning on going down there and covering it. I figured there'd be other people down there, so I wouldn't necessarily be necessary. But Tia, actually, she talked to me about it. We talked for a while about it, and she made her position very clear. She said, "You know what, Rob?" She doesn't call me Rob. She calls me Boston, because we met on my way back from Boston. Anyway, different story. But she goes, "You know what, Boston? This is your job," and she's right. This is my job. This is what I do. This is my whole job, is to go out and to film things that are happening so the world can see the truth, right? Antifa puts out their little clips. The Antifa press puts out their little clips, but there's no context. There's no context to their clips whatsoever. They're like, "Oh, look at this Proud Boy. He beat this guy over the head." Well, but they didn't show the 4 bricks that bounced off of him and he got stabbed or whatever, and then, he's retaliating. They don't show that. So I live stream, and everybody on our side, on their side, everybody knows that I don't cut. I don't sit there and turn the camera away. They know no matter what, I'm going to film what happens, because for my integrity is my most important quality. If somebody is able to call me a liar or hypocrite or something like that, it's very, very, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So a war correspondent. Yes, I've had a couple people call me that, call me a war correspondent. Oh, and Tia is now watching. So anyway, she doesn't mean that. But I mean, she's right though. She's right. It is my job. It is what I'm supposed to do. It is what I have been doing for the last 5 years. I know how to do it safely. I know how to do it. I don't know of anybody else that does it like I do. So yes, I should go. The next person that does it like I do maybe is Villain, and Villain's really good at just getting in and out of there doing stuff. So my more thoughts on the 22nd is, if the Patriot side can get enough people to actually hold their own and keep kind of Antifa at bay and keep them away, because all they want to do is a rally. All they want to do is just have a freedom rally on the waterfront. That's all they want. These people are not coming here with the sole purpose of fighting. They're not. Like, I've talked to them, and I'm like, "You guys shouldn't go to Portland," and they're like, we need to go to Portland, because they feel it is necessary for them to go to Portland. They saw what happened with Antifa attacking all the church services that were going on and disrupting people who just wanted to worship. They've been watching it happen, and they're like, "We gotta go." And they want to make a stand, and they want to sit there and go, "You cannot bully us for wanting to have a First Amendment free speech freedom rally." That's their purpose, and they have every right to do that. They, as an American citizen, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, what your religious preference is, as an American citizen, you have the right to go and rally and protest. It is the First Amendment of the United States of America. And it is my job to go out and show the truth and show what happens. So I will be going. I'm not thrilled to be going, but I should. I really should. Tia is right. I definitely should go. And people can do what they want to do. That is right. Absolutely. Let's see what else. I see. As a cameraman, you got to be willing to. No, I don't. I don't really want to do that. I'm bringing protection. I don't plan on getting hurt or anything like that. Thank you, Ghost. What are you willing to lose? It's got to be give me liberty or give me death. Like, honestly, that is what. That's yeah. That's it. You know, our founding of this country was a couple dudes sitting in a bar, throwing around some ideas, going, you know, this isn't right. Let's talk about this dude John Locke. Let's talk about this dude Aristotle. Let's talk about Rome a little bit and see what kind of, you know, what they did. You know, maybe we can come up with a better system, and maybe we could come up with something that might give people like hope and a chance and some freedom. And it's just a couple guys, just hanging out in a bar talking. And they, from chilling in a bar, chit-chatting, created this. This is currently on fire. Okay? What they created died a long time ago. We're in a new, weird, kind of nuclear waste mutant form of what they created. But some of us in this world believe that we can get that back. Some of us in this world believe that it is worth it and that we can fight to get it back. And that's why I do this. I just saw somebody say, WS, you know what I do. I don't show my truth. I live stream. That's why I live stream. I don't cut footage. Like, I put out key moments and highlight reels, sure, but I stream. And even if I lose service for events like this, I'm rolling with another backup camera or two to make sure that I can sit there and upload every single thing that happened. And I've had a lot of grief from people on my side of the aisle for filming things that they didn't want me to film. There's been quite a bit of people coming at me over things that I have filmed in the past. But I don't care because I'm not Antifa. If one side's doing bad stuff, people are gonna see it. If the other side's doing bad stuff, people are gonna see it. Because the truth matters. It's the whole reason I started this business in the first place, because the media was refusing to show the truth. Peaceful protests. And don't think that peaceful protest is a 2020 thing. No, it ain't. Peaceful protest goes way back. About 6-7 years ago, peaceful protest. Well, buildings are on fire and CNN is packing people together. Yay. And then they zoom out and they're like, there's nobody here. Yeah. That's why I do this. They didn't meet at a bar. They met at a Baskin Robbins. Yes. Let's see what else. Robert will have security, and this is going to be very expensive. Please. Oh, yes. Yeah. I would appreciate that. It is very expensive. It's going to be very expensive. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. There's a couple things that we need to pick up and to get ready for the event. Hopefully it's not going to be that bad, honestly. Hopefully it could be a nice, successful event, and Antifa kind of pulls their heads out of their hind ends and, they just chill. Maybe the fascists will go home. Maybe. That's what we can all hope for. The Stork 2, bye. Nicole got you. Let's see. We need to donate to pay MMA fighters to be there. I mean, honestly, the funny thing is about Antifa is that if it's an even match, Antifa really usually won't do anything. If it's even numbers, they really won't do anything. Antifa knows that the majority of their ranks are women, And they also know that the majority of their ranks aren't really capable of putting up too much. That's why they throw things. That's all they do is they throw things, they throw explosives, they throw bricks, they throw rocks, they use slingshots because they know that they don't have a snowflake's chance in hell of anything hand to hand. If the Patriot side, if it was 20-5, they would still run away from the Patriot group of 5 just because that's what they do. That is what they do. And I have 6 years of footage to show it. However, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, there's been a couple times where there's one instance down in at the waterfront where there was a line of Patriots, probably like 30, 40, 50 of them. And these 4 Antifa dudes did this like Trojan kick charge, like into them. And then they kind of pushed around a little bit and then they ran back. I mean, I got to give them a little bit of credit. And give them a little bit of credit. Some of them have a little bit of honor, I guess, but the most of them do not. The caltrops, yes, those. I don't know if you can see it. There's a little cut right here. That's where it got me. It didn't bleed, but it scabbed over. That was kind of weird. I've had a tingle in my arm ever since. So, yeah. But let's see. The Constitution and Bill of Rights are anti-fascist. 100%. All men are created equal. It's the opposite of fascism and communism. Like that's the amazing thing that I love about the left and how just insane and delusional they are, because they're like, oh, you conservatives are fascists. And we're like, we like the Constitution. And they're like, you're fascist. And we're like, the Constitution was put in place to limit government. And they're like, you're fascist. And we're like, do you not know what limited government means? And they're like, you're fascist. And we're like, no, fascism is complete government control. So is communism. It's the opposite of what we stand for. It's the opposite of the basis of our existence. Like, the Constitution is very clear on roles and responsibilities of our federal government. And, the Bill of Rights starts off with the words, they shall not do this. Congress shall not. Like, it means the government can't do. Like, it's the whole purpose of the Constitution is to be anti-fascist. And yet the left will sit there and go, the Constitution's garbage. It's like toilet paper. It's an old document that doesn't mean anything. It's the most anti-fascist piece of writing in the history of the world. It is amazing how delusional these leftists are. It just really is. Let's see what's next. Antifa and all others like them feed on their ability to run people out of something or somewhere. There are covert ways of dealing with these things. Think, acquire, prepare, arrive, and deploy. It's true. It's true. People need to be a little bit more strategic about some of the things. Find their bus and let your patriotic duties guide you. Yeah. If we show physical dominance, Antifa will stop showing up. How else do we stop this? It's true, though. It's true. It has happened in the past. It has been effective in the past. And the main thing is that it's I am adamantly opposed to going out and picking a fight. Right? That's what I was saying earlier about going into Portland. I don't like going into Portland because doing that, you're going to strictly pick a fight for the most part. So, but when it comes to self-defense, you need to employ that. Self-defense is a human right. You have a human right to self-defense. If you are attacked, if you are assaulted, if you are, if you have a mob coming at you to literally kill you, because that's what these people are known for doing, right? They've killed people. They have put people in the ICU. They have put people down. And they don't care who the target is. Like if you're LGBT or if you're black or Hispanic, you're their number one target. So any person of visible color out there, or visibly, proud LGBT on the right, they are the number one target. They are most likely to be attacked by Antifa, as we saw in LA, right? Antifa, when Antifa guys started stabbing people, and it's just, you have to protect yourself. Oregon has a duty to retreat law. That is their law. Washington State has you do not have to retreat. It's a stand your ground state. But Oregon has a duty to retreat state, unfortunately. So it gets a little shaky there with the legality of it, but you have a human right to self-defense. Period. Nobody can take that away from you. So if you're being attacked, you have a ethical, moral, human right duty to defend yourself. And if you're in the state of Oregon and you have to defend yourself, then you might have to pay the consequences because you didn't run away. But I guess that goes both ways, right? It's just Oregon's it's an interesting state. And, the other thing about it, too, is that Oregon passed a law saying, really kind of hampering the police's ability to do certain things when it comes to crowd control. Pepper spray is no longer a go. Crowd control agents of any kind are really kind of a no-go. Portland doesn't have a rapid response team anymore. They don't have a SWAT team anymore. So I don't, honestly, back to that question, what are my thoughts on the 22nd? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I know that I am going to be safe. I know that I don't know that I'm going to be safe. I know that I'm going to do everything I can to ensure my safety. And it's really going to be a very fluid situation, and we're going to play it from there, just really like what happens and how it goes. Let's see. That's it. I'm covering my entire body with Vaseline when I go to Portland on the 22nd. Please don't. Do your thing. Let's see. Anybody else have any questions or anything? I know dinner is waiting for me. It is 9:30 here, so bed is waiting for me. I think that I have some plans tomorrow. I'm going to take a day off. It's been a long 2 weeks here. So I think I'm going to take a day off tomorrow and go up in the mountains. I'm going to bring a camera, of course, just in case we see anything. And I can add it to my nature channel, which is, you can find it by going to, let me just hold on 1 second here, youtube.com. And Common Sense Conservative Nature Channel. There we go. I haven't been able to do my own URL for it, but it's called the Common Sense Conservative Nature Channel. And you can go there. I have 15 whole subscribers and 8 videos. But there's more videos coming. And there's some pretty cool videos on there. And then I'm going to get my cooking channel going here eventually, so that, just doing other stuff. And it's fun. But, I'm going to take a day off tomorrow. I'm going to go have dinner. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you check out, again, let me switch my screen really quick. And make sure you go to right here, preparewithcommonsense.com. Everything's backwards. It's so annoying. $25 off Patriot Supply stuff. If you like the shirt and the back of the shirt, which is... You can get that. Oops. I'll get used to this eventually. Right there, Liberty or Death, ac.com/shop. And with that, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for hanging out. I hope this was pretty informative. Very cool seeing so many people watching. Very cool seeing so many likes. Very cool seeing so many comments. I appreciate all of you. Thank you guys very much for watching. And those of you who donated, God bless you, because until I start getting revenue from Rockfin and my Patriot Supply, I am on fumes. I've already driven 1,400 miles in August, just going to events and stuff, and it's been fun. So thank you guys very much, those of you who have helped me out and kind of helped me stay afloat during this in-between time. But thanks a lot, guys. Tell your friends, like, share, subscribe. Go to Rockfin. For the love of God, go to Rockfin. And that's where it's going to go. It's where it's going to go if I ever get deleted off of here again. So have a wonderful night, guys. See you soon.